Morning, Dick.
Morning, Jane.
You're up early.
Yeah, we are.
Hey, and there's Tanatha. Hey, and there's Bdubs.
We've been up for 3.5 hours. What do you mean you're up early? Gosh sakes, I wish I woke up right now.
You're up early.
After
It's
your,
only 7:36.
Sleeping in for me.
I was gonna say, well, after your coffee, now you're actually awake. But it's been a while since you've been actually like awake.
We're literally only 4 minutes away from our destination.
So once again,
In God's country.
Oh, I missed. Oh, there we go.
Oh, you gotta turn
God's
left 1,000 feet there for that.
country. So, I think we're off the pond again.
Yeah, we are.
Another field trip.
Yes, it is.
Are you guys ever on the pond anymore?
Not
It doesn't
recently.
seem that way. It's actually, by the time we get back to the pond, it will have been 21 days since we left it.
Oof.
See, Dick is counting the days he's been missing his pond.
Hey, but I brought my tractor with me this time because I had an away mission.
Otherwise, he would have been unbearable to live with. If he did.
An away mission.
Away mission.
Away mission. You don't wear a red shirt on those, okay?
And,
Yeah, no. No one was red-shirted, so we're good.
We're good.
Yeah. So, will you want to tell us where we're going?
I'm wearing a red
We are
hoodie.
going to the Wood-Mizer Pennsylvania open house event and Sawmill owners training.
That's right.
So we're
Yeah.
going to learn how to operate our sawmill and grade and cut lumber.
So, it was an 8 a.m. class on a Saturday. 8
Yeah.
a.m. It is now 7:36, and I think we'll be there on time. So,
Yes,
that's
we
good.
will. 20 minutes to spare.
Yeah.
And it was a
Stretch your legs,
yeah.
walk around,
meet and greet.
meet and greet. Yep.
It's not too bad a journey, about 2.5 hours from our Maryland home.
Yep, and we've seen some pretty interesting countryside and
Pennsylvania.
mountains and bubbling creeks and lots of trees, and their colors changed.
It's a pretty time of year to come up, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. Look at the colors.
Oh, there you are.
There you are. Wood-Mizer. Hi, Dad.
How are you?
Good.
Oh, there's Deb. You gotta
Nerd.
Hold that so
Okay.
Hi, Deb. I finally get to meet you.
Pretty good. You had to drive 4 hours to get here?
Well, I think it's 3.
3 hours.
I think it's 3 because we left at 4:15. We just got here a little after 7, and that's even including a stop at Wawa.
Yeah, there he is.
Yeah, we had to stop and get some coffee.
Look at that. Willow Run.
Oh, hello. How are you? How you like
Everybody's
your
here.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah, man.
Is there a shirt on?
On my free $24,000 shirt.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I just got done buying a sweatshirt for him. Well, actually a short, sweatshirt for him and a pullover for me. So I'm nice and warm.
Oh, yeah.
Got the shopping out of the way.
That's a good idea.
My son Tim.
Yes, I
and
met
his
him.
wife, Becca.
Okay. I did
Yep.
meet her.
That's the jacket from the video. I saw the. I was like, that looks familiar.
Yeah.
He was here last time, so I met him.
Yeah.
I did not meet his wife.
Yeah.
It's my first time
Yes,
here.
first time here. Becca and Rick and Mary, and we were like, we used to call you Willow's Run, but I know that's not your
Dane.
name. Dane.
Dave.
Like Great Dane.
Oh,
the dog.
Oh, Dane, okay.
Dane, and then Deb.
Yeah, I know
Yeah.
Deb.
Yeah.
I always
Trucks
tease.
around.
Yeah, I always tease my fiance. It's like, will you be my Deb? Because I need you out the mill for carrying on my wood.
Have you talked her into it yet?
Yeah, she ends up helping when she's there, but she's working now.
I can't remember the name of your little dog.
Willow.
Willow. Okay, so it is
Yep.
Willow. Oh.
Because yeah, we live off Willow Run Road,
Okay.
so that's why I got the mill, and then she just happened to be Willow because I wanted like a tree name. First feminine sounding tree I could think of.
Yeah.
And it's so cute how she's so dedicated to finding you.
It was
Oh my
like 20
God.
degrees out the one winter, and she was freezing, so I told my mom to take her up to her house. she accidentally opened the door, shot out, came back down, sat out there, shivered with me.
It's like, I'm staying right here.
Yeah, she loves it. And when I'm not home, my mom watches her, and she said she goes out and sits by the mill, waits for me to come home. She loves it.
Yeah, take notice to that.
So she's,
Right there.
even if she's not in the video, she's there somewhere.
No, she was in the video.
So first thing you want to do is you want to make sure your mill is somewhat level. Doesn't have to be perfect, but what I like to do is I get down about eye level. I take a look down the bed frame, and it looks pretty level to me, so I don't have to adjust the front leg at all. So the jack handle is actually stored on this leg back here.
Okay, so let's stop here. So let's say you have it hooked to your truck and you get out of the truck and you look at the bed frame and you say, wow, it's a little bit low on this side. We all have sawmills, right? So we should have some shims in the truck to put underneath the tire. We want the tire to be on the ground when we're actually sawing. So if it's sitting at, let's say it's 4 inches low on one side, we can actually put some blocks underneath the tire, get the deck level before we unhook it from our truck. Now we can actually pick it up with our jack legs, but it's a lot easier to do it before you unhook it from your truck.
So our first 3 legs you want to get set because all the weight is back on the saw head past the axle. So if you try and adjust the front legs after you bring your saw head up, you're going to be lifting all that weight. So we're going to take care of our next 2 legs with the weight back behind the axle. So our front legs are set.
Now, if you notice, this front leg is probably off the ground. Kick it there once. Is it loose? So it's loose right now. Okay.
So as soon as I bring that saw head up and bring it back, it's going to put weight on that front leg. Next thing you want to do is you want to remove your fenders, because if you don't, you bring your hydraulics down, your fender all up. While we're back here, there's also a safety chain we use for travel purposes. That's just a safety feature. So just unhook that and let it hang here. Now we're ready
The
to bring the
safety
saw head
feature
up.
would be is if you had a steering emergency and the saw came off the rest pin and the saw would go back. It would actually take the weight off your towing vehicle and could be 2 emergencies instead of 1. So that's what the safety chain's for.
Just turn the key to my function number 3. That's going to put power to my saw head here. And there's going to be a little startup for your simple set on the 35 hydraulic. You just got to give that a minute. Let me go up to about 25 on my height scale here, and that's so I can clear my hydraulics and bring the saw head back. So once the saw head's back, I just took all the weight off the rear legs, so I can put the rear legs down now. So now all my legs are set.
Okay, now the very important thing at this point is the pressure on my front leg and pressure on my rear leg. My tires should not spin. I don't know if you've ever been up on the sawmill, have a knot up there, you're on every chainsaw and you tramp on that tire and it will come down. It'll be a bad day for having a chainsaw in your hand when you hit the ground. So that's why we want the tires to be on the ground, number 1, and we want the stability of the mill also. So that's why we block the tires, we don't want them off the ground. Just remember that the Wood-Mizer cantilever head frame is built with about a 30 thousandths to 50 thousandths arch in it. So if we don't have pressure on the front and rear leg, we're not taking that arch out. So if you get inaccurate cuts, that's when you want to check your legs.
So after I move the saw head back, the rest pin that the saw head actually sits on for travel purposes, it has a pin in there, so you just pull the pin out and push the rest pin down just so it's out of the way. Put the pin back in so you don't lose it. Now we're ready to unhook our hydraulics. So the first thing we're going to do, we're going to bring our black legs here down for our loading arms. So for the loading arms, they have a velocity fuse on the bottom of the loading arms here. So that actually has a pressure relief valve in there. So if you get something up against that, that can bust off. But they have these welded brackets on there to keep those safe. So you always want to make sure there's no debris against that velocity fuse in there.
Usually in the wintertime, the saw will actually set and freeze. The saw will freeze around and you'll bump the saw and you'll snap them off. We sell a lot of those parts in the wintertime.
Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to bring my back supports up and my log turner up at the same time. And what that does, once I have my log turner up all the way, that's going to take tension off that chain. So that way I can drop my loading arms. So the clamp, you see how I have it all the way in right now? If I run that all the way out, for travel purposes, you see my ground clearance underneath the mill? So if you leave your clamp all the way out when you're trailing your mill, that clamp is lower than your axle. So if you hit a pothole or something, that's the first thing you're going to hit. So always remember to bring your clamp in for travel purposes. Lower the loading arms. You're going to put your weight up against the loading arms, and you're going to pull back on the log turner here, and that's going to release that chain tension. The chain gets hooked to a bar that has the 2 springs on it. If you hook it to the big bar, you're probably not going to be able to get the chain off after you put it on. Now I have all the weight, I'm just going to lower it to the ground. If you forget to put the black legs down, you're going to have to lower that all the way to the ground, and you're just going to put a lot of hurt on your back, backwards. So remember to put those legs down. Now we're ready for a log.
So we're going to actually split this log in half again. We're going to lay the pie shape off, and then we're going to actually go for our quarter saw again. For trying to get the ray fleck, and that's what we're trying to do is look for this design. We'll get the design. You can see in some pieces.